Just at that time, the bell in the masjid began to ring, proclaiming that the noon worship and Aarti ceremony had begun. Therefore, Shama and Hemant Pant hurried to the masjid. Bapu Sahib Jog had just started the worship. Women were up in the masjid and men were standing below in the open courtyard, and they were all loudly singing the Aarti in chorus to the accompaniment of drums. Shama went up, pulling Hemant Pant with him. He sat to the right and Hemant Pant in front of Baba. On seeing them, Baba asked Hemant Pant to give the dakshina brought from Shama. He replied that Shama gave namaskaras in lieu of rupees and that he was there in person. Baba asked, "All right, now let me know whether you both had a chit-chat, and if so, tell me all about you talked about." Not minding the sounds of the bell, the drum and the chorus songs, Hemant Pant was eager to tell what they had talked and started to narrate. Baba was also anxious to hear, and so he left the bolster and leaned forward. Hemant Pant said all that they talked about was very pleasant, and that especially the story of the old lady was most wonderful, and that on hearing it he thought that his Leela was inexplicable, and under the guise of that story he really blessed him. Baba then said, "Wonderful is the story. How were you blessed? I would like to know everything in detail from you, so tell me all about it." Then Hemant Pant related in full the story which he had heard a little while before and which had made a lasting impression on his mind. Hearing this, Baba was much pleased and asked him, "Did the story strike you and did you catch its significance?" He replied, "Yes, the restlessness of my mind has vanished and I have got true peace and rest and come to know the true path." Then Baba spoke as follows, "My method is quite unique. Remember well this one story and it will be very useful. To get the knowledge of self-realization, dhyana, meditation is necessary. If you practice it continuously, the vrittis, thoughts, will be pacified. Being quite desireless, you should meditate on the Lord who is in all the creatures, and when the mind is concentrated, the goal will be achieved. Meditate always on my formless nature, which is knowledge incarnate, consciousness and bliss. If you cannot do this, meditate on my form from top to toe as you see here night and day. As you go on doing this, your vrittis will concentrate on one point, and the distinction between dhyata, meditator, dhyana, the act of meditation, jaya, this meditated upon, will be lost, and the meditator will be one with the consciousness and be merged in the Brahman. The mother tortoise is on one bank of the river and her young ones are on the other side. She gives neither milk nor warmth to them. Her mere glance gives them nutrition. The young ones do nothing, but remember, meditate upon their mother. The tortoise glance is to the young ones a downpour of nectar, the only source of sustenance and happiness. Similar is the relation between the gurus and the disciples. After the Arati ceremony was over, prasad was distributed. Bapu Sahib Jog advanced as usual and after saluting Baba, gave into his hand a handful of sugar candy. Baba pushed all this quantity into the hands of Hemant Pant and said to him, "If you take this story to heart and remember it well, your state will be sweet as the sugar candy. All your desires will be fulfilled and you will be happy." Hemant Pant bowed before Baba and implored, "Do favor me like this, bless and protect me always." Baba replied, "Hear this story, meditate on it and assimilate its spirit. Then you will always remember and meditate on the Lord, who will manifest himself to you." Dear readers, Hemant Pant got prasad of sugar candy then, and we now get the prasad of sugar candy or nectar of the story. Let us drink it out to our heart's content, meditate on it and assimilate it, and be strong and happy by Baba's grace. Amen. Towards the end of the 19th chapter, Hemant Pant had dealt with some other matters which are given below. Baba's advice regarding our behavior. The following words of Baba are general and invaluable. If they are kept in mind and acted upon, they will always do you good. Unless there is some relationship or connection, nobody goes anywhere. If any man or creatures come to you, do not discourteously drive them away, but receive them well and treat them with due respect. Srihari, God will be certainly pleased if you give water to the thirsty, bread to the hungry, clothes to the naked, and your veranda to the strangers for sitting and resting. If anybody wants any money from you and you are not inclined to give, do not give, but do not bark at them like a dog. Let anybody speak hundreds of things against you. Do not resent by giving any bitter reply. If you always tolerate such things, you will certainly be happy. Let the world go topsy-turvy. You remain where you are. Standing or staying in your own place, look on calmly at the show of all things passing before you. Demolish the wall of difference that separates you from me, and then the road for our meeting will be clear and open. The sense of differentiation as I and thou is the barrier that keeps away the disciple from his master, and unless that is destroyed, the state of union or atonement is not possible. Allah Malik, God is the sole proprietor. Nobody else is our protector. His method of work is extraordinary, invaluable, and unscrutable. His will be done, and He will show us the way and satisfy our heart's desires. It is on the account of Rinanubandh, former relationship, that we have come together. Let us love and serve each other and be happy. He who attains the supreme goal of life is immortal and happy. All others may really exist. That is, live so long as they breathe. Encouraging good thoughts of fruition. It is interesting to note how Sai Baba encouraged good thoughts. You have to surrender yourself completely to him with love and devotion, and then you will see how he helps you off and on in so many things. Some saint has said that when you get a good thought immediately after awakening from sleep, and if you develop the same afterwards during the day, your intellect will be unfolded and your mind will attain calmness. Hemant Pant wanted to try this. On one Wednesday night before going to bed, he thought, tomorrow is Thursday, an auspicious day, and the place Shirdi is so holy. So let me pass the whole day in remembering and chanting the Ramanama, and then he slept. Next morning when he got up, he remembered without any effort the name of Rama and was much pleased. He then, after finishing the morning duties, went to see Baba with flowers. When he left Dikshit's Vada and was just passing Bhuti's Vada, present Sabadi Mandir, he heard a beautiful song that was being sung nicely by one Aurangabadkar in the masjid before Baba. The song was Guru Kripanjan Payo Meri Bai, etc. by Eknath, in which he says that he got collyrium in the form of Guru's grace, which opened his vision and made him see Rama in and out, in sleep, dream, and waking state, and everywhere. There were so many songs, and why was this song particularly chosen by Aurangabadkar, a devotee of Baba? Is this not a curious coincidence arranged by Baba to feed the determination of Hemant Pant to sing unceasingly Ramanama during the day? All saints agree on and lay stress upon the efficacy of uttering Rama's, God's name, in fulfilling the ambitions of the Bhaktas and in protecting and saving them from all calamities. Variety in Upadesh, slanderer condemned. Sai Baba required no place nor any special time for giving instructions. Whenever an occasion demanded, he gave them freely. Once it so happened that a Bhakta of Baba reviled another behind his back before other people. On leaving aside merits, he dwelt on the faults of his brother and spoke so sarcastically that the hearers were disgusted. Generally, we see that people have a tendency to scandalize others unnecessarily, and this brings on hatred and ill will. Saints see scandal in another light. They say that there are various ways of cleansing or removing dirt, that is, by means of earth, water, and soap, etc. But a scandalmonger has got a way of his own. He removes the dirt, faults of others by his tongue. So in a way obliges the person whom he reviles for, and this he to be thanked. Sai Baba had his own method of correcting the scandalmonger. He knew by his omniscience what the slanderer had done, and when he met him at the noon near the Lendi, Baba pointed to him, a pig that was eating filth near the fence, and said to him, "Behold how, with what relish it is gorging dung. Your conduct is similar. You go on reviling your own brethren to your heart's content. After performing many deeds of merit, you are born a man. And if you act like this, will Shirdi help you in any way?" Needless to say that the Bhakta took the lesson to his heart and went away. In this way, Baba went on giving instructions whenever necessary. If these are born in our minds and acted upon, the spiritual goal realization is not far off. There is a proverb which says, "If there be my Hari, Lord, he will feed me on my cot." This proverb is only true in respect of food and clothing, but anyone trusting in this sits quiet and does nothing in spiritual matters, he will be ruined. One has to exert himself to his utmost for attaining self-realization. The more he endeavors, the better for him. Baba said that he was omnipresent, occupying land, air, country, world, light and heaven, and that he was not limited. To remove the misunderstanding of those who thought that Baba was only his body, 3 cubits and a half in length, he incarnated himself in this form, and if any devotee meditated on him day and night with complete surrender, he experienced complete union without any difference with him, like sweetness and sugar, waves and sea, eye and its luster. He who wants to get rid of the cycle of birth and death should lead a righteous life with his mind calm and composed. He should always engage himself in good actions, should do his duties and surrender himself heart and soul to him. He need not then be afraid of anything. He who trusts him entirely, hears and expounds his leelas and does not think of anything else, is sure to attain self-realization. Baba asked many to remember his name and to surrender to him, but to those who wanted to know who they were, "Who am I?" inquiry, he advised Shravanam study and Mananam meditation. To some he advised remembering God's name, to others hearing his leelas. To some worship of his faith, to others reading and studying Adhyatma Ramayana, Jnaneshwari and other sacred scriptures. Some he made sit near his feet, some he sent to Kandoba's temple, some he advised the repetition of 1,000 names of Vishnu, and some the study of Chandayoga Upanishad and Gita. There were no limit, no restriction to his instructions. To some he gave them in person, to others by visions and dreams. To one addicted to drink, he appeared in his dreams, sat on his chest, pressed it and left him, after he gave a promise not to touch liquor anymore. To some he explained some mantras like Guru Brahma and dreams. To some devotee who was practicing Hatha Yoga, he sent word that he should leave off Hatha Yoga practices, sit quiet and wait, saburi. It is impossible to describe all his ways and methods. In ordinary worldly dealings, he set examples by his actions, one of which is given below. Remuneration for labor. One day at noon, Baba came near Radha Krishna Mai's house and said, "Bring me a ladder." Some men brought it and set it against the house as directed by Baba. He climbed up the roof of Vaman Gondkar's house, passed the roof of Radha Krishna Mai's house, and then got down from the other corner. What object Baba had, none could know. Radha Krishna Mai was at that time shivering with malaria. It may be to drive off that fever that he may have gone there. Immediately after getting down, Baba paid ₹2 to the persons who bought the ladder. Somebody asked Baba why he paid so much for this. He replied that nobody should take the labor of others in vain. The workers should be paid dues promptly and liberally. Bow to Shri Sai, peace to be all.